I want to ask you this, Lara. I ask a lot of women this. You're obviously a very strong, intelligent, independent woman, and you're surrounded by very strong men, your husband included. What is it that you look for in a man? What are the qualities that you look for in your husband, in any man? Because, we're going through this period. Hopefully, it's changing a bit now, where men have been feminized, I would say, in a way, and downgraded in a way. And always like to get the opinion of a strong woman because a lot of people think when a man is acting like a man, it's demeaning to women. And I keep saying no, it's the opposite. When a man acts like a man and has the characteristics of a man, it's actually benefiting women. And I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I agree with that 100%, and that's how Eric and I are raising our son. I want him to be a strong man and to be proud, by the way, that to be a man, and I feel like that's lacking in America right now. We have done so much damage to a generation and probably more, but hopefully we're starting to rectify it right now of men in this country, and it's terrible. For me, one of the things that I really immediately saw in my husband that I appreciated was one of the first things was his work ethic. And that was really important to me because I was raised a certain way, and my parents raised me to be a hard worker and no excuses and never giving up um, and taking accountability for things. And that's one of the first things I noticed about Eric Trump is that with a last name like that, you again expect, them to have a silver spoon and not, want to work hard and have everything given to them. It was quite the opposite. I mean, Eric and I met in March. I won't tell you of what year because it was so long ago. We didn't go on our first date until July because he was so busy. He was traveling the world, working for the Trump organization. He had just started working there. He'd only been there, I don't know, maybe 2 years at that point, and he wanted to prove himself. And he wanted, to prove that he deserved to be part of that company because and when, a lot of people would have just said, "Oh, I'll just kind of sit in an office and twiddle my thumbs." No, he wanted to earn every single second of it. And I was also busy, but our schedules didn't line up. So it took us so many months to finally sit down and go out on a first like proper first date. Um but I respect that a lot and I appreciate that a lot. And I'm raising both of my kids to be that way, but especially our son. And you know, the level of respect that I've always been shown by my husband is also something that's appreciated. You don't have to be a beta male to respect women. My husband is incredibly gracious with everything with me, but I think he respects how hard I work. He respects anything that I have going on, and he also respects our different roles as parents, which I think moms have a different role than dads, and anybody who tries to tell you differently, I mean, it's a lie. Moms are generally the nurturers. We're the ones who care for the kids, in the when they get a bruised knee or whatever it is. And dads are there to kind of rile them up. He gets them at bedtime, gets everybody worked up so that I can calm them back down. But for me, I think it was really the general nature of a person is very evident. He's a hard worker. Has such great respect, not just for me, but for the people with whom he surrounds himself. And these are people who work for him. That's another thing that I noticed very early about the Trump family is that they really care about everyone they're around. They're very humble in a certain way, and I don't know that a lot of people appreciate that. I mean, it comes from the top, comes from their dad, but those are certainly things that impressed me almost immediately with my husband and continue to this day to be true.
Well, that's great. And I got to ask you this last question because I know we're wrapping up. You're a career woman, you're a mother, you're a wife. How do you balance between the two of you? I mean, your husband is obviously very busy also running this big company and doing his part. How do you balance family life, your career, getting together? Do you still have date nights? Do you have time for yourselves? Because it seems with both of your schedules, it would be very difficult. So how do you manage it all?
Yeah, it's hard. You have to make it a priority. I mean, we try once a week at least to schedule. We have to schedule it. I mean, that's the truth. We schedule a date night. And I've gotten messages, I'll get a text from somebody who's in town who I haven't seen in like a year. And they're like, "Oh, could you guys get dinner with us Friday night?" And I'm like, "Sorry, can't do it." That's our date night. And we don't break that. We are very serious about that because it's important. Nothing is easy about long term being together with somebody, bringing two lives together. You have to work at it and you have to stay connected, and that's the one way that we do that. We try to take time just for the two of us and we schedule it in. And sometimes it feels like things are crazy, crazy, crazy. But I know, like this week, Saturday night, that's our night. We're just the two of us. Nobody else is invited. But then, with our family too, with our kids, when we're present, we are super present. I am at everything. I am at every soccer game, every gymnastics practice, every jujitsu practice and tournament. When I am physically able to be there, I will kill myself to be there. I will not sleep. I will, whatever it is, because you don't get that time back with your kids either. Once they're grown up and they're out of your house, like that's it. They're done. So everything I can do, I will take the first flight out first thing in the morning just so I can get back in time to tuck my kids in bed at night because I think it's important. So you have to hustle. None of it's easy. You got to plan it out sometimes, and it's not always perfect, but I always.
My friends, if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to give you an opportunity to become my partner in business. Franzese Wine experiencing tremendous growth over the past couple of years, and we're going to experience even further growth in the next few years. You're going to have an opportunity to be my partner because you've been supporting me, you've been my fan base, and I want to share this with you. So go to invest.franzesewine.com, and offer you shouldn't refuse.